Hey, welcome back to the Ziggy Zone. Preseason, well, not end of season, preseason. Um, Training camp has officially started in the NFL. All 32 teams are in their full on training camps. Yay! That means in a few weeks, we'll get our very first taste of football and some preseason games, which should carry us for a couple of weeks before the official season starts in a couple weeks thereafter. So in September sometime. End of this month, early September. Anywho, I'm like, I just need to express how I feel as a Niner faithful. It's one thing that they went to Santa Clara, right? With the new stadium. It's nice. No, it's nice. But over the last couple of months, I've watched my childhood be ripped and taken away from me as I've watched the progress of the deconstruction of Candlestick Park. And I sort of feel like that's sort of what the 49ers did, right? So they get rid of Harbaugh because, not that he wasn't a good coach, but for the most part, personalities really just didn't gel. He was a bit out there. They were winning, except for last season, they 8-8, which is a 500 season, right? So it's not, it's not the best, but it's also not horrible, right? So with that being said, they bring in Tom Sula, who was the interim coach after Singletary was terminated, I believe. And my guess, honestly, Tom Sula to me is like a snake in the grass. For something, I don't really trust him. I feel like he was a part of that whole Harbaugh debacle. I really feel like he was an insider some way. I don't know what it is. And if I'm wrong, I do apologize. Like, if Tom Sula, if this was a genuine thing, you didn't really do anything, then my apologies, right? I'm not above apologizing if I'm wrong. However, if you are, I wouldn't be surprised. So after Harbaugh left for Michigan, they could not find anyone to fill his space. None of the big name coaches were interested in going to the Niners, which to me is a huge red flag. But I totally get it, because as a coach, it's like there's no guarantee, because the team doesn't really have any loyalty. If you fire the best coach you've had in years since Mooch, if you fire him and he's doing well, then where would that leave me and my family, right? So, I can see, or perhaps people don't like working with Jed, or they don't like working with Trent, for whatever reason. So that was interesting. The plot thickened when they couldn't even find assistant coaches and coordinators. Like, really? Like, you can't find, or you can't fill secondary coaching positions? That's really a problem. So I want Eddie. I really do. I really want Eddie DeBartolo back. And I know that he got kicked off. I thought he was suspended for some years. I know that I don't think he has a lifetime ban. So maybe they can just give Eddie DeBartolo the 49ers as a gift. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know. So, right, your coach is gone. This other coach in here that looks like Ron Jeremy's little brother is now coaching, and he can't find any help. But then you got players retiring and leaving all over the place. My goodness. You have your linebacker, he retires. Your linebacker's backup, he retires. Then Frank Gore, Frank Gore was PO'd, because at the last interview, he was like, if he did not say it, he basically said, Depending on who's the coach, I'll be here next year. He obviously wasn't feeling the Tom Sula situation because he's now in Indiana. And that's cold weather. And he's from Florida. He's only been in warm weather. I mean, not that San Francisco's super hot, but he's only been in warm climate places. Like, it snows up there. Anyway, like, so everyone started leaving. I mean, there's some consistency there, between Kaepernick and Vernon Davis and Quan Bolden. They brought in Torrey Smith. So, Quentin Patton. So there's some consistencies there. I think Carlos Hyde, they just put him on injury list, but he's still there, and a couple of other key offensive players. On the defensive end, I think they knew that they were losing people, so the best thing they could have did was bring in Darnell Dockett. Honestly, that literally made me happy. Like, the 49ers can go 0-16, and I'm like, oh, but you signed Darnell Dockett. Like, that was the best thing you did for me all off season. So with that, their production in this coming year, I honestly, have very little faith. Oh, ye of little faith. But I just do. It doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel like it. And I could be wrong, right? I totally could be wrong because I was wrong last year with the Warriors. When the Warriors separated from Reverend Dr. Coach Mark Jackson, I was devastated. I was like, how could they do this? Blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, oh, they're bringing in Steve Kerr. I was like, oh my gosh, another new coach. They just came off of a new coach. Honestly, I did not start to turn the corner with Steve Kerr until after All-Star breaks. I think by that point they were already number one. No, they were number 2 in all of the NBA. At that time, Atlanta was number 1. And they were number 1 in the West, and they were pulling away from other teams in the West. But I was like, nope, still not buying the Steve Kerr hype, not happening. It wasn't until they won a championship where I was like, good job. So who knows? I might be in a similar situation with Tom Sula. Maybe Tom Sula is what is needed to turn the corner for the 49ers. I don't know. We'll see in a few months. At this very moment, because I believe that Tom Sula was the snake in the grass and part of the reason why Harbaugh is no longer here. It's hard for me to let go. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. I won't say preseason. Preseason is where everyone, gets a chance. But we'll see, by week 5 what's happening. And I'll definitely fill you guys in on my take. Most people that I've been speaking with are pretty optimistic. I'm a realist. And for real, I don't think that they're going to do well. I want them to do well. Love them. They're my team. But I have to be for real with myself. And I don't want to ever put myself, I don't want to hurt my own feelings. Raiders, don't tell my brother, but I probably have more faith in the Raiders at this point. Although, I want them to win, but they're the other team from the Bay. So, we'll be discussing their happenings and things of that nature. So we'll put a pause there on football, and we'll wait to see as it happens what the season will round itself out to look like. I do want to make a point about Ronda Rousey. I thought it was Rousey, but Ronda Rousey, who beat up, I think, a Brazilian girl in 45 minutes. Ouch. But then I started to think, Mayweather is supposed to retire. I mean, what do we think about having Mayweather versus Rousey main event? Mayweather's last finale. Well, Mayweather's finale. Would he win? Is it okay? I mean, you talk about 2 fighters who are at the peak of their game. It almost seems like it has to happen, right? Right? I mean, granted, MMA is a little bit different from traditional boxing. Nevertheless, they're fighting. I think that would be interesting. That would be something that I would watch. Although I guess people may see it as a man beating a woman and he just did jail. Well, but he doesn't have to beat a woman because she's really quick. I don't know. Just think about it and let me know what you think. All right. Have a good week. Mwah.